Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Start Your Day Great. Start your day with the coach. I am your host, Sean Butner, Certified High Performance Coach, and this is the show that talks about daily things to help you get into your day, to help you advance quicker towards your big ambitions and build the life that you want. Now, today I wanted to talk about something that is kind of cool, in that can you feel the excitement out there in the world? It's Memorial Day weekend when I'm recording this video live here on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And, this weekend, I think, at least for where I'm at on the West Coast, was one of the first times where you could feel people be a little bit more relaxed in big social situations. We had a friend's birthday party, and, we're out in the hills out in the East Bay. At a park, grilling out and, meeting strangers for the first time in probably over a year. And it felt great. I think a lot of people were surprised at, how instinctive it is to, like, hey, how are you? My name is, you put your hand out. The other person instinctively shakes your hand, so we didn't lose these social skills that a lot of people have been worried about. So the cookouts for Memorial Day, as we, in the U.S., remember the soldiers that made the ultimate sacrifice. And not to, bridge over that, that's something that's worth taking a moment to really think about, especially if you're in the States. But, I think, it's good to remember that we have this shared value system, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the excitement, right? So, as more people have gotten vaccinated, things are starting to return to normal, and as things start to do that, I think it's really important to keep in mind a few things, right? We are in still a transition phase, right? And over a year ago, it was a transition into lockdowns and uncertainty and the pandemic, and now we're transitioning out of. So some things to kind of remember about people and to be a little bit more understanding, I think, is, we can't expect everyone to, immediately get back to how things were. And there's a couple of reasons why, right? And the first thing is habit inertia, right? If you instinctively grab your mask on the way out, and when you see people, you put it on, or you give people wide berth. After a year of doing that, it's to be expected that some people will adapt quickly, some people won't, and whatever. It's a very human thing, right? So it's not a big deal, but it's something to be aware of with yourself and with others. So if everyone's vaccinated, maybe it's more relaxed. If you're in a giant store still and you're not sure, if people are sick or not, and you don't have that relationship or trust, maybe you keep your mask on. It's up to everyone. I'm not here to make a point one way or the other, but to be aware that there's going to be some people that'll hold on to some of the habits we had to pick up in order to get through the pandemic. Second thing is there's variable risk for people, right? Some people, months ago were already, partying out in Florida and doing that whole scene. Some people are still feeling anxious about, being in the pandemic because it's not over. I mean, it's slowed down, and especially in different areas of the world, right? We were hearing about India the last couple of weeks and how terrible it got so quickly over there. And, if you're there, our hearts go out to you. If you're in a place that has a lot of vaccinations that are being effective and you're seeing the cases go down, it's a good reminder to be like, okay, we're not out of this yet. We're just in a position where a lot more people are protected. Cases are less severe if you have that vaccine. If you're able to or choose to. Not to make a political thing, but, things could still change really quickly, because we don't have everything completely locked down with the virus, especially worldwide. You could get a new variant that makes the vaccine less effective, and things could still quickly switch. So it's not a time to say like, oh, it's over, declare victory, we're through this in the United States. There's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of uncertainty. It just seems like we've mitigated a lot of some of the more dangerous parts of it, right? So it's good to understand that you might have a different risk profile than somebody else, and that's also okay. You don't have to justify how you feel about it, but you also don't have to pick on other people, right? You can be a kind person and just say, okay, like, not your thing, not my thing, totally cool, right? You don't have to be confrontational over stuff like this. So, third thing to realize as we're in this transition area, as we're transitioning into more hope, is that a lot of people might have reordered priorities. Kind of hard to say in the morning. So, this past year, we all changed habits. We all cooked a lot more at home. We all, had different things that, we had time to reflect, say, what do I want out of my life? What do I want out of my career? And so going back into this more open world here in the U.S., it's, important to realize that. So if you had a group of friends that love to go to restaurants, maybe more people are eating at home. Maybe there's going to be a huge, surge in people going to restaurants, and it'll die off as people have had the time and chance to, cook stuff at home again or grill or, maybe you drink more, maybe you drink less, that kind of stuff. And it leads into another point where, people, a lot of my friends are starting businesses, which I think is pretty amazing. Like teachers, I know people that are, from corporate are like, okay, like that went, away. And so I need to take my destiny more in my own hands. And so I have tons of friends, tons of family members that have started businesses or are in the process of starting businesses now. Another thing to be aware of as we're in this transition period is that there's been a lot of loss this last year for the old way with family members due to the pandemic, due to other things, not being able to see family, not being able to do the funeral rites for your family. I had an uncle pass away in January, and we're still, I think we're going to get together for a memorial in August or September in the fall. And, so people haven't had that group catharsis yet. And so that's going to weigh in on people. And so people are a little bit more grumpier, or people seem to be a little bit more upset. There's a lot of grieving going on, and there will be a lot of grieving going on. And so just being aware of that might help you show up a little bit better in interactions where you might want to yell at someone or be grumpy, or somebody does that to you. It's like, oh, maybe they just haven't handled their stuff. And so as a coach too, I have to say this: handle your stuff, right? If you are struggling, it's okay to go see a mental health professional. If you are in that reordered priorities and you're like, what do I want to do next? Maybe you want to see a coach, and you can go to seanbutler.com/coaching to get a free 1-hour strategy session to help you kind of figure out where your head's at so you can move forward quicker. So I'll throw that out there. The fifth thing to remember as people are getting together, as cookouts are happening again, as dinner parties and social events and all that kind of stuff are coming back online, that celebrate, right? It's okay, especially if you have had a lot of grief or a lot of loss this past year. It's okay to celebrate that we're here in this moment together, that we are able to connect and we're able to do the things that we would like to do with people, right? So whatever that is, how are you celebrating? How are you, hoping the summer will go? What are you excited for this summer, this fall, this Christmas? Who are you looking forward to seeing and hugging and all that stuff? Like having that in your heart, even with all the the good and bad that's happened, can help you transition in this phase into what's ever coming that, we never know. So, okay. So just another reminder then, we are all in a new transition, a more hopeful transition, a more energetic transition. And, it's good to have a couple of things as the world has shifted on our mind so we can navigate it with a little bit more grace, with a little bit more understanding, and a little bit more kindness to ourselves and others. So that's the show for today. Please subscribe or like wherever you see this video. If you have any questions, comment below. I'd love to answer them. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. So this is Sean Butner saying, live with more joy, personal growth, and impact in your communities today.